Hello, welcome. Who's in the mood for a quick one today? For this one, I wanted to show you how to connect BigQuery and get BigQuery able to read from your GCP warehouses in Tabular. And it's so easy, so simple. I love it so much. So to do this, you have to have already set up a storage integration with GCP. So if I go to storage, we set that up in one of our first videos here. So get a hold of that. Once that's set up, you'll want to create a warehouse. So in data, you hit plus and you can create a warehouse based out of that storage bucket. For me, I already have one, so I'll go into RPW GCP. So I want to mirror this warehouse to make it accessible, queryable from BigQuery. Let's get that going. So I'll go to connections in compute, and I'll select the BigQuery. Don't pay any attention to this down here. You probably won't have this if it's your first time setting it up, but this is where it'll turn, like you can identify the integration after it's created. So we'll click BigQuery, and it provides you with a link. So click this link to take you to Google Cloud IAM so that you can add the proper permission. The permission you want to add is the BigQuery data owner. That's going to be the permission we'll add to our existing service account. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to click here. This will take me to Google Cloud. Make sure you're in the right project. Something really important to call out. This integration is probably something you want to put in its own project, and you want to expose read-only access to this project and the data sets that you'll replicate to your other BigQuery workspaces. Because there's really, how do I want to say this? It'll clobber stuff that's already there in some cases, and you don't want other processes trying to modify these tables because that would potentially either not work or it could corrupt your the state of your tables. So that's not good. Just make sure that you're delegating access appropriately here. So for me, I have the Randy Pitcher workspace. This is appropriate for me to put in here. So here's the tabular service count I created. Yours is obviously going to be named differently. It's the one that you set up to use with your storage integration, so that you'll have that content. So let's go ahead and hit edit. And in this case, well, I already have the BigQuery owner condition, but when you come in, you'll likely have it like this. We'll add another role, and then in here you can search that BigQuery data owner that it told us in the other one. We'll add that. This will give it pretty broad access to the assets within this project. Another good reason to have this project be dedicated for Tabular's work, Tabular's back and forth. So I'll go ahead and hit save. From here, you're good. That's it. We go back to Tabular. We say mirror BigQuery. It'll test it really quickly and tell us whether it worked or not. Green check mark. And at this point, I'll hit finish. At this point, it's active. You'll see this down here. We can turn it off, which will not delete your warehouse from Tabular, but will make it disappear from BigQuery. And let's take a peek at what we just created. So I'll go into BigQuery right now. Right now, you can see I have this project, but there's nothing in here. Let's go ahead and refresh these contents. And now I have a data set called default. This is a mirror of the default database within Tabular. Unfortunately, all these systems use different terminology for what's a database, a warehouse, a project, data set, schema. But if you're watching this, you've been in analytics for a while, like you get it. So default, why not the other two? Well, because these are not stored within Google. These are shares into this space. So if I go into the default, right now I have hell BigQuery. I did a typo. So let's show how we can modify this and have it have those changes replicated over to BigQuery. So I'd expect to see in here hell BigQuery. I could query this. It does not have any content, so I could say let's query this. Select star, and there's no data to display, but it should at least have structure. All right, we have name and ID. Okay, well, that's something, right? So it comes back. There's no records, so we might want to load data in there separately. Okay, let's make a change, right? So we might want to fix this typo. So I'm going to go back into here. I'll click on this table. I don't believe I can rename it directly in the settings. But that's fine. That's fine. Let's go ahead and just create a table with the proper name, then we'll drop this. So I'll go into default. I will hit, up here, I'll hit the plus button. Create table like, and, oh, okay, so these won't be from the tables in my workspace. We'll just create a table, and we'll call this Hello BigQuery. Sysadmin, and for the columns I'll do a quick ID column, that's always good to have, and then a name column. Ooh, string, and maybe like birthday, just to make it even clearer that we're doing a different structure. So I'll hit create. Now we have, within here we have Hello BigQuery and Hello BigQuery. Let's go ahead and just delete this. Settings, drop the table. Perfect. All right, now we're getting somewhere. Cool, Hello BigQuery. To go back into BigQuery, let's refresh the state here. And it has not been picked up yet. That's okay, we can force that to sync by going into our connections, our compute, and that's why this checkbox is kind of cool. So if we click it off, this is going to remove this mirror from BigQuery. So if I go into here, refresh, all gone, right? Now the data is still fine, completely fine, not a big deal, because it's decoupled. It's just not available there. And then to force it to sync, which it would do automatically. I just want to force it right now and not wait for that sync to happen. All right, we got a little error there. Defaults and Hello BigQuery. Hello BigQuery. I wonder if I could. Let's query it. Or maybe I could just describe it. Ooh. Statement not supported. Interesting. Maybe it's because it's this kind of shared external table. But we can still select from it, and I can prove to you that it has... There we go. That it has new columns. That's odd that it doesn't just show you the columns here. Let's go to chart, and we have ID, name, and birthday. So it did replicate, 0 copy, nothing had to move or anything like that. Now in the next versions, let's actually get some data flowing into these spaces, and we can have querying happen from multiple engines. All right, thank you.